Hello again. Welcome to my video about Psionics in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition. I'm going to break this subject into two parts. The first part, this video, being dispelling myths about Psionics in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, and the second part will be actually how to run Psionics in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition. Excuse me. Felt I had to do this one first just because there is so much hate for this system out there on the internet, and the vast majority of it, I'd say 95% of it, is just people who misunderstand it, who either don't know anything about it and are just passing along what they heard, or didn't understand it when they first read it, didn't have their head in the right place when they didn't have the right preconceptions when they came to it, and because of that it didn't give them what they thought. So I'm going to cover the three main arguments that I hear against Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition Psionics when on Facebook, a lot in the various D&D forums. And let's get to those right now. The first is, are Psionics just another kind of magic? The second is, are Psionics unbalanced and overpowered? And the third is, are they completely unplayable as written? I'll answer all these questions and more in this video. Okay. The first one, are Psionics just another kind of magic? Well, the answer to that is no. At least in Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, it is no. Later editions bastardize Psionics into just another kind of magic, so it's easy to understand why lots of people are confused on this point. The main thing that separates Psionics from the magic of priests and wizards is the source. Priests draw their power from powerful beings like gods and sorcerer kings. Wizards draw their power for their spells using the weave, or the life force if they're on Athos. Psionicists use the energy of their own innermost being, their nexus. Unlike magic, where the caster can be cut off from their power source, a psionicist is their own power source. Granted, there are spells that can make it harder for a psionicist to use their powers, sonic dampener being the first thing that springs to mind, because power source and type are different. A psionicist doesn't have to worry about things like null magic zones, anti-magic shell, or magic resistance. See page 109 and 110 of the Complete Psionics Handbook for more details on this. Now that we have established that Psionics are not magic, let's move on to whether or not a Psionicist is an overpowered, unbalanced, game-breaking cheat character. As I said earlier, the answer here is also no. The two arguments used to say they are overpowered are usually, number one, if you're a non-psionicist, you have no defense against mental attacks. And number two, psionicists have access to extremely powerful powers like disintegrate at first level. Mages don't have anything like this power until 5th level. I'll address the second complaint first. Can a first level psionicist even have disintegrate as a power? No, because disintegrate has telekinesis and soften as prerequisite powers. A first level psionicist only has access to 1 science, 3 devotions, and 1 defense mode. And before I go any further, let me explain what that means. As a psionicist levels up, they gain access to more powers. Those powers are broken up by 3 main categories, and then there's another one that's a give me power that falls into those three categories. Three categories are large groups of powers that have similar effects, like telepathy, psychometabolism, clairsentience, metasonics. Those are called disciplines. Then, out of each discipline, the powers are broken up in basic second edition Psionics into sciences and devotions. Sciences being the more powerful of the powers, and devotions being the minor powers. Now, in The Will and the Way, the book that you see on the left, they also introduce the idea of the high science, which is like the most powerful version of any power in that particular discipline. But you don't get into that in just regular basic Psionics in second edition. All right, now that oh, and by the way, a defense mode is there are I believe 5 defense modes in telepathy, and 5 attack modes in telepathy. And when you're having a psionic battle, the defense modes are what keep another psionicist out of your mind, and the attack modes are what batter down another psionicist defense modes. And different attack modes work better against different defense modes, but we'll get into that in the next video about psionics. All right, let's see, where was I at? Okay, that said that that at first level a psionicist has access to only 1 science, 3 devotions, and 1 defense mode. Both disintegrate and telekinesis are sciences, and telekinesis must be taken first because it's a prerequisite. It's 3rd level before a psionicist picks up their 2nd science. It's also 3rd level when the average psionicist gets enough PSPs, and I guess that's something I should go over too. A PSP is a psionic strength point, and a psionicist has so many of them, and powers use up so much to turn them on, which is called their initial cost, and so much to maintain them if they're a maintainable power each round, which is called their maintenance cost. So you use up PSPs as you use powers. So the average psionicist gets enough PSPs to use disintegrate once at 3rd level, basically, because disintegrate has requires 40 PSPs, and its initial cost, it has no maintenance cost because it's a one-shot thing. And at that point, the average psionicist would have 48 PSPs, and 8 PSPs isn't enough to do much. As a matter of fact, after that one use, he'll be left with enough PSPs to use control sound for 1 round. Then he can't use his powers again for hours because he then has to rest and meditate to recover PSPs. Now let's talk about this 3rd level psionicist trying to use disintegrate to one-shot kill a powerful opponent like a 15th level evil fighter. And this is the actual example they use, is a high-level NPC or say a dragon, since it can disintegrate up to 8 cubic feet, like coring the head of a dragon. Okay, so, but in this case I'm going to use a 15th level fighter because that's a little less over the top than like a great worm red dragon. First, the psionicist has to make their power score. I gave our psionicist a 17 wisdom. The power score for disintegrate is wisdom -4, so he has to roll a 13 or higher on a d20. So there's a 35% chance he will fail there and blow 40 PSPs on the attempt. So say he makes his power score. Now the fighter he is trying to kill gets a save versus death magic. A 15th level fighter's save versus death magic is a 4, so he has to roll a 4 or higher to make his save on a d20. If he makes his save, he feels a little tingling and nothing more. While the Psionicist is, having used up all but a few of his PSPs, is little more than a fighter with a bad THAC0 now, meaning he has to pretty much go to melee because he doesn't have anything else that he can really do effectively with his psionic powers. In this argument that I have heard dozens of times on Facebook, you have to give the Psionicist 2 levels for it to even be possible, and then there is only a 9.75% chance that it will work. So no, Psionicists are not overpowered. Their power is checked in at least 3 ways most of the time. Okay, on to the other argument for Psionicists being overpowered, that characters without psionic abilities have no way to defend themselves from a Psionicist. There are several spells that can offer some protection to the minds of non-Psionicists under mental attack by a Psionicist. Odaluk's Resilient Sphere, Mislead, Protection from Evil, and Protection from Evil 10-foot radius, just to name a few. On top of that, not all Psionicists use telepathy. One example from my personal game, starting in 1993 and ending in around 1997, when we all kind of had to move too far away to play anymore, I had a player who played a Thri-Kreen fighter Psionicist. When this PC was 16th level fighter, 15th level Psionicist, he got into trouble because he went up against a powerful telepath. The PC had defense modes because he picked them up automatically as he rises in level, but no attack modes. So he could keep the telepath out for some time, but couldn't fight back. The next time he leveled up, he picked up Psionic Blast, which is an attack mode, a very powerful one. The point of the story is that the Thri-Kreen was 15th level as a Psionicist, but could not mentally attack anyone. He had concentrated on augmenting his fighting ability with his psionics, and he was a holy terror with his swords. So not every Psionicist can make mental attacks. So the answer, again, is no. Psionicists versus non-Psionicists is not a foregone conclusion. Okay, the last point is the one that has the most validity. Psionicists are broken and unplayable. I say this only because mental combat, as presented in the Complete Psionics Handbook, can be confusing for beginners. If you are confused after reading Chapter 2 of the Complete Psionics Handbook, which is Psionic Combat, check out how they handle it in The Will and the Way, which once again is the book to the left there. The explanation is streamlined and much easier to follow, although they really don't take out any steps. The wording is not near as confusing. The rest of the Psionics system is no more difficult to run than wizards or priest magic. So for the last complaint, the answer is also no. I can attest to this personally. I've been running a AD&D 2nd edition Dark Sun game for over 24 years, and we use Psionics in every single game session. All right. hopefully this will help clear up some of the myths about Psionics. I know that there are people out there who are just dead set against them and won't use them. That's okay. You don't have to. That's the great thing about D&D and 2nd edition in particular. Very modular. If you're going to play Dark Sun, though, you really need to get a handle on them, because it is just it's just integral to it. It's the bedrock of the campaign. You need to know Psionics if you're going to run Dark Sun properly. It's not going to feel like Dark Sun at all if you don't. So, but hopefully this video was helpful. And if you have any questions, or if for some reason I misspoke about something, let me know in the comments. Please remember to like, and if you could subscribe, that would be great. I know I don't have much out yet, but I've only been doing this for a few days, so I will continue to be making more videos as time goes on. Thanks. Bye.